Good afternoon. My name is Christian Tabor, and I'll be introducing you to the agriculture industry. I'm going to start this off with a poem. My hands of dirt, from farm to plate, the American farmers provide what you eat, spending money on the food and produce used to make everyone's favorite home-cooked meals. Start with the dirt on the ground, harvested by the dirt of someone's hands. My name is Christian Tabor, and I've had this dream since the 8th grade. My journey started in 8th grade when I learned that I wanted to be an advocate for agriculture. I wanted to produce the information and knowledge of the blue-collar worker. I am now pursuing this goal at Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College, where I will learn to develop an understanding of livestock production and how to implement that into my life. Now, I might not have much experience, but after a few hands-on jobs, I do have this mindset and determination to make myself succeed. Now, we all love food. Well, I hope we all love food. But you ever stop to ask where it comes from? What labor does it take to feed us? What men and women have to go to put food on our plates for us? Well, I will be demonstrating to you about blue-collar agriculture and the benefits that it provides to the men and women for us in our economy. I will support the Americans. You will help through the industry, their solutions, and I hope to seek your help with many other solutions that the world of this industry has sought to have. Now to start with a little history. The agriculture industry started mainly in the 1500s with the boom of the cattle industry. But the cattle industry mainly expanded during the 1800s due to the expansion through the railroad. The railroad allowed for cattle operations and crop production, and the expansion of Americans to be through east and west and south to allow for more profit. The development of technology has grown a long way since the 1800s to now, and this is going to include insecticides, better chemical testings. These better chemical testings allow fertilizers to develop a better and safer fruit and produce for us to eat. These health monitors help farmers understand cattle production and understand how they can monitor their cattle just through an app on their phone without actually physically going out and taking their time. Vaccines lead to less disease. We will get into less disease later, as that is one of the bigger problems in the agricultural industry. And the last one is the improvements in tractors and machinery. Without the improvement in tractors and machineries, farmers would take months and years to develop the land that they're developing now in just a matter of weeks. The economy of the crop and cattle production. Let's break it down through the economy state. Well, through the economy, the higher exports that we have of crop and cattle means the higher payouts through farmers. Having a higher payout through farmers makes it to where they're allowed to pay their labor cost fees, pay their machinery, and have less debt, ultimately allowing for Americans to want and have their supply of needs. Now, there are many jobs and labor-induced forces through the agriculture industry, but a lot of those jobs are developed through disciplined work and understanding that completing your work makes it happier for customers and consumers who are looking for that beef in their grocery stores. Now, our biggest problem when understanding the agriculture industry is mainly going to be in the cattle side and the crop side due to the lack of labor. Lack of labor is our biggest problem because, well, without labor, we wouldn't be able to have the crop or the raising of cattle. We wouldn't have anybody to do it for us. And through the lack of labor, it's very hard to start or put on farmers. There's a lot of stress on farmers which leads to a lot of other problems down the road, medical issues, etc., leading to our economy to start crashing. And how do we fix this? Well, my main solution is understanding how we can develop solutions by budgeting our strengths and understanding how we as people can develop a budgeting strength of putting where our money goes towards the farming industry. Now, with the lack of labor comes high demand. There's high demand of beef, high demand in produce, high demand in everything that we know and love. And we get high demand, especially in labor, because young men and women are looking for money. And the farming industry is not a good way to make money when you're young, but it's a good way to make experience and understand what men and women go through every day to support you. Now, farmers are very high in debt, and it takes a long time to pay off, which is going to be a con for later. But the price of machinery costs go up due to the lack of labor, and the higher payouts to employees because, well, they will have less workers, but more people want to get paid, so they'll pay less people, but they'll pay more. There's less people, more money. How do we fix it? Well, we fix it, like I said earlier, is budgeting. But other ways we can fix it is introducing our money towards programs where young men and women are intrigued to go out and learn about these such things. There's very many goods and bads between the agriculture industry, and one of them is that it develops bads and goods every day. It changes every day. It's a seasonal change. It just depends on how you look at those highs and lows and how you want to characterize them in your body. What makes this industry good? Well, this industry good is good in very many ways. It provides a little to no cost ecosystem life cycle, meaning that cattle eat the grass and they poop out fertilizer for the grass, which then recycles back to them eating the grass and the grass growing. This all making it a non-profit cycle. Also, it's always a growing industry, like I said. It changes all the time, but that can also be for a good thing. If the economy drops, you can always change the way you farm to make it better for the economy and for the people. Even more on this is that the cattle industry alone brings over $883 billion to our economy. And the cattle industry also brings 1.3 billion people meals every day. It is an increase in per capita income, meaning the higher those inputs or exports are to other countries, or the sales are, means the higher those farmers are paid, making it easier for them to pay labor costs, labor fees, machinery costs, so that you can have the food that you love every single day. Now, there are lots of cons, and the main one is that there's change. You never know what's going to happen. Hurricanes, seasonal weather, etc. All those things change. Another one is high in oil and machinery and gas. Gas changes every day with the economy. Oil gets less and less every day with the use in the economy, which makes it harder for machinery to be used by farmers. High debt. A lot of farmers are in high debt due to the cost of technologies and the profit that farmers make. Farmers don't make much profit, so overall they have a higher debt. But through you can help us as farmers make more profit, and so we can succeed in making sure you have food. Now, our second biggest problem, this is up there with the first biggest problem, is disease. Disease is brought in from other countries or brought in from our own country. And this is all from the crop side, cattle side, anything you can think of agriculture, it comes from disease. Disease creates it's disease. It kills things, creates sicknesses, people get sick, cattle get sick, crops die, leaves die, that help the produce grow, and overall makes it harder for farmers and for people like us to sell things to stores so that you can buy them, and makes it to where there's no profit, meaning there's a high demand with low profit and low margins, meaning your high demand will not be met. So I'm here to ask you, why should you take your next step in this culture? Well, in this culture, you can help in many ways. Just by getting out there and spreading the word, just like the Bible, spreading the word of agriculture to the men and women around you. You never know your child, especially parents, teach your children and let them get out of their shoes a little bit, their comfort zone. Help them understand that there's more in the world than just the small enclosed things that we're being taught. There's many things in the world. There's many things that go into how you eat, how things are raised, and you never know. Your child's career might be right under their nose. Thank you for your time, audience, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation.